what we're going to be talking about tonight is we're going to be talking about what I call the big three. And the big three are Libby, Kanopy, and Hoopla. So we're going to be talking about how to set up an account. And then once you do set up an account, how you can borrow things. So if you go to our website, which is www.lewisborolibrary.org, and you go to the digital media tab, you'll see that you can borrow eBooks, and you can borrow them using either Libby or Hoopla, and I'll explain what the difference is. You can also borrow audiobooks using Libby or Hoopla. If you want to listen to music, you can borrow whole music albums using Hoopla. Graphic novels or comics would be Libby or Hoopla. Film and TV is Hoopla and Kanopy, and magazines are Libby and Hoopla. It's amazing how many magazines are there. So the first thing we're going to talk about is a service called Libby. And I don't know if you've heard of Overdrive. Overdrive and Libby have the same content. It's just that Overdrive was an older app, and it's what they called sunset in February 2022. You can still access Overdrive on your computer, but you can't through your iPad or any app because it's not available in the app stores anymore. Libby is a replacement, and the reason they had Libby was because they wanted to create an application that was more intuitive. So they created the Libby app. And Libby app, you can borrow either eBooks or audiobooks. And eBooks would include comics, graphic books, picture books, read-alongs. So a lot of people don't know, Marlene, that, there's even stuff for little kids in a lot of these different services. And there's a 7-day default for eBooks, audiobooks, and magazines. On audiobooks and eBooks, you can change your borrowing period to 14 days. And the nice thing about borrowing magazines through Libby is that it doesn't count toward your overall checkouts. So you get 10 checkouts at a time. So you can wow. have 10 eBooks or audiobooks checked out and still be able to check out a magazine. So that's what the one tap means. So you can have 10 checkouts at a time or 10 holds at a time within Libby. Libby works a lot like the library does, in that if something is available, you can borrow right away. If something is not available, somebody else is reading it currently, then you have to place a hold on it. There are kids and teen areas, and you can select in settings in Libby, you can select titles that are over 20 megabytes not to be downloaded. So I don't know if you are, if space is a concern for you on your device, but
it might be. It's a couple of years old.
Well, it might be, but it might not be too. But
right.
just to let you know that books are usually less than 20 megabytes. Magazines and graphic novels are over 100. So if you set it to selecting titles over 20 megabytes not be automatically downloaded, it's going to ask you, do you want to download this? Or audiobooks can be over 300 megabytes. Now, in the digital world, in order for you to be able to download something, you have to be connected to the internet somehow. So either internet at your house or Wi-Fi in a public setting. Either one of them would work. So you need to have that set up first. and then go into one of these apps. So we're going to talk about how to create a Libby account. So the first thing you do is you go to the App Store and you're going to look for that little icon of the little girl reading a book. And that's going to be your Libby app. So you're going to download that first. And then when you tap on that app, it's going to ask you, do you have a library card? And you're going to say yes or not yet. So you'd say yes. And then it's going to say, you can look for a nearest library by name, city, or zip code. So you're going to tap on search for a library. And then when it brings up a search box, you're going to type in the word Lewisboro. And it's going to come back and it's going to say Westchester Library System, Lewisboro Library, and our address. So you know that that's the one you want to make your home library.
And it will remember that.
It will remember
every time
that,
you go
yes.
back in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, the create account, you only have to do once. So then you're going to sign in with your library card to the Lewisboro Library. And where did you get your library card, or where you use it? And you're going to tap on Westchester Library System. And on the next screen, you're going to enter your library card number without any spaces, as well as your PIN. And once you've got that information in, it's going to show you a picture of a library card, and you know that you're good, and you can say next. So now we're going to talk about how to download with Libby. And the first thing we're going to talk about is audiobooks. So in the search box, you would hit this little spyglass on the bottom of the screen, and it will say search up here. And you're going to then type in the name of the book you're searching for. So you type in this case, Where the Crawdads Sing, and then the little spyglass next to that. And it's going to show you some results. It's going to show you, in this case, it's going to show you two different things. It's going to show you, if you look underneath the little book here, there's a pair of headphones. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. The headphones means it's an audiobook. This happens to be a regular book. Okay, so we're gonna check out the audiobook first. So when you are going to the borrowing process, it's gonna ask you, it's gonna say, okay, you're borrowing because this is the default. It's going to say you're borrowing Where the Crawdads Sing for 7 days. And if you look at the 7 days, there's a little star next to it. And that's the default. But if you tap on that 14 days, then you'll be able to borrow that title for 14 days.
Good.
Now, instead
There
of
are restrictions to the 14 days, even new books.
they're all 14 days if you select that.
Okay.
Now, where that borrow button is on the screen to the left, if it says hold, that means that somebody else has it currently checked out, and that you need to place a hold on that title. Okay, so now it's going to give me a summary. It's going to give me my library card number, and I'm borrowing for 14 days, and now I can click on borrow. And then the next screen I'll see is where it says open audiobook. So I'm going to press on that. And then I'll see a series of 3 buttons. A big button is the play button, or I can go back 15 seconds, or I can go forward 15 seconds.
All right.
I can also select the speed in which it's being read to me. So this came up as 0.9, meaning if it was 1, it would be set to normal speed. So this is going to be a little bit faster than normal. I have
Is that the default?
Well, for this one, it was. So you have
It
to be
was.
conscious of what that is.
Ah, okay,
The,
I
the,
get it.
the normal speed is 1. You can slow it down or you can speed it up. As you can see, you can make 1 the normal speed, or you can have it 1.25, 1.5, etc.
A nice option.
Yeah, it is a nice option. And then you can also set a sleep timer, which looks like this little moon here at the top.
Mhm.
And what that does for you is it says, okay, read this audiobook to me for a certain period of time, so I can go to sleep. So either I
Very
want
nice.
to read 2 minutes or 15 or 30 or 60. So I can select that if I like. And then also I can bookmark a certain page. So bookmarks and highlights, it says by tapping the bookmark button will add or edit a bookmark. Tap holding the button records a highlight. So, if there's a certain place you'd like to go back to, or whatever, that you can create a bookmark. And then this last one shows you where all your bookmarks are in the book, and you can also make a note. So I really like this page. This
Very
section
nice.
is really,
It's well thought out.
yeah. So you can also borrow eBooks. So in this case, in the search button, I clicked on that spyglass down there, and the search button came up. And if I type in Life on the Rocks, which is the name of a book, and click on that search button, and then click on the name of the book itself, then the results come up for me. And you can see this also is an audiobook as well as an ebook. An ebook doesn't have anything below it that indicates it's an ebook. So because it doesn't have the headphones, I know it's an ebook.
Okay.
So I can borrow this book, and then it will take me to the Westchester Library System, and it's going to give me the card number, and it's going to tell me I'm borrowing it for 7 days because, of course, that's my default, right?
Right.
So if I click on that 7 days, then this comes up, and I can change it from 7 to 14 by tapping on that 14. And I'll know it took because I see the star next to that. And then it's going to tell me, oops, sorry. It's going to tell me by card number, I'm now borrowing it for 14 days and I can borrow. So I'm going to click on borrow, open book, and then it's going to ask me, do I want to read it on my Kindle or on Libby? Not all books are available on Kindle, but a lot of them are. Then it's going to open up the book for me so I can read it. And if I tap on this little circle, then it will start opening the book for me. Now I see this A up here at the top. If I
Yes.
tap on that, it will allow me to adjust the appearance. So it will, the appearance is the size of the font, the brightness. I can go bright, sepia, or dark. So bright, I would probably use during the day. Sepia, I might use at twilight. And dark is something I might use if I go to bed at night and I have a partner and I don't want the partner to wake up. Then the background is black, but the wording is white. I can also, in appearance, I can change the different fonts that I have. I can make it legible, Scholar, paperback. I can make it the select font for dyslexia, sorry, or I can have a custom font. So what it defaults to is a publisher's default, but if I want to change that, I can. And then I can do a search through the book. And as you can see, the screen will come up and it's going to ask me, what am I searching for? So say I want to find Julia in the book. It's going to show me where within the book Julia, the word Julia is. Or I can also, in this, with eBooks, I can bookmark my page. Now, there is something called an advanced search. So I can look and I can say, okay, I'm only interested in books, or I'm only interested in audiobooks. I'm only interested in those that are available now. Skip the line. I have not had a lot of success with this, so I don't really see what it's good for, to put it bluntly, but it is there, and it's supposed to be, you know, if you get lucky, you can move up the line. So if I look for a subject, I can look for historical fiction, romance, mystery, etc. I can look for a particular format, books or audiobooks. I can look for availability. Available now is great if you're going on a trip and you want to see only those items that you can borrow today. You don't want to see anything you have to place a hold on. Then you might like to look at available now. You can do a sort. You can sort it by popularity, date added, release date, or random. Date added and is date that it was added to Libby, and release date is the date that it was released. So I don't know that you would often be using those two. You might be sorting by popularity though. Audience, you can look for just books for kids or young adults, or you can do general content, which is adult books. And you can select a specific language that you're interested in. So that's an advanced search, and you can select many of those different things all at once, so that you can, you know, say, okay, I'm only interested in historical fiction that's available now in English. Now, from your shelf, when you look at what's called your bookshelf, you can tap the book to open the book itself. You can tap Manage Loan, which is the next one down here. And underneath Manage Loan, it allows you to renew. You can return it early. You can send it to another device. You could send it to Kindle, or you can add what's called a tag. And a tag is, it's like a marker. So say there's several books that you'd like to read someday, but you don't have time right now. You can add them with a tag that says books I'd like to read, and put them all in that bucket, in that one little place, so that they're all tagged that way. And then if you look at that tag, you can see these are the books I'd like to read someday. You can also tap the card, which is right up here next to the title. And you can if it's been downloaded automatically, you can remove the download that way. You can also download it if it hasn't been downloaded. If you tap Actions, which is up at the top in the oval, You can select what file sizes to be downloaded, like I said before, 20 meg, 300 meg, over 100 meg. And you can download in Wi-Fi only. In other words, it won't allow you to download unless you have access to the internet. And what that does for you is it will save you on data charges. And you can see and manage your holds by looking up here where it says holds. And you can create a tag by using tags here. So that's pretty much in a nutshell what Libby offers. Kanopy is movies and television. And what's cool about Kanopy is you can actually stream the movies and TV on Kanopy to your television. So there is never any waiting. You get 20 play credits per month. Now, each movie is a play credit. Be aware, though, if it's a television series and there's 8 TV shows in that series, that's going to be 8 play credits. You can also, they do have a kids section. They also have something called Great Courses. And Great Courses is really nice because it's a video of a university professor talking about a specific area of study. So maybe he's talking about ancient Egypt. He's a expert in that. So he would teach courses in that subject area. There's also some PBS shows available through Kanopy. Now, to create an account within Kanopy, again, you're going to go to the App Store and you're going to look for Kanopy. It's going to look like this, black with a K in the middle of it. And the next, when you tap on that, it's going to say, get started. You can tap on that. It's going to ask you to find a library. And it's going to ask you if you want it to know your location. And I say allow it once. If you want to allow it again, you can. But it helps find the library for you. In Kanopy land, they're all different. Our library is known as South Salem Lewisboro Library. And so I'm going to tap on that, and then it's going to show, and I'm going to select this library. It's going to ask me for my library card number and my PIN, and then I select next, and then I'm going to create an account. In my account, I have to put in my first name, my last name, my email address, and I have to create a password. So this is where you may want to remember what that password is for you, or you might want to write it down until you can do that. And then you're going to say, sign up. And it's going to ask you, do you want to save the password? Now, in your case, you may want to. In my case, I didn't want to. So, but that's a personal preference, whichever way you want to go. And then the following page is the home page for Kanopy. And as you can see up here is a little thing you can cast. So you can cast from your iPad to your television set using this cast. And it also tells you here how many play credits you have, 20. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the bottom here, look for that spyglass. It says search. And this, this next screen will come up. And one of the movies that they currently have is Everything Everywhere All at Once. So I'm going to type that in, and it is going to show me some results. And this is the movie that I want. So if I tap on that movie, then this screen shows up, and it has a circle with a triangle in the middle of it, so that's my play button. Now, if I want to browse, I can do that. If there's a particular genre that I like, I can look for that. And these are all the different genres that they offer. I can also go to my list and it would tell me what I currently have checked out. So I'm currently watching everything everywhere all at once. And as you can see, I'm continue watching that. And I also have my watch list. And my watch list are those things that I have identified that I would like to see someday. And if I click on anything within my watch list, then the next screen comes up. And I can actually start watching that show. Now, within Kanopy, this 20 went down to 19 because I borrowed a movie. I am a member of the Westchester Library System. It allows me to go to Kanopy Kids, and Kanopy Kids shows you just those movies that are child appropriate. I can look at my membership within Kanopy. I can link my device, and if I wanted to watch it on my TV, this is another way that I could do it. I could go to link your device. And what's going to happen is on your TV itself, it's going to be a 4-digit code, and you're going to have to type that in. You can also go to settings. They have help, or you can sign out from Kanopy.
I have a question.
Yes.
Must you have a smart TV for this to work, to send it to?
I don't know that I have a smart TV. I would say, Marlene, the best thing to do is give it a shot. You know, say, go to link your device and see if a code appears on your television. If it does, then you can enter that code.
Okay.
Settings, I can say cellular data, which allows me to only play back. I can allow data usage for video playback if I want. I can turn on closed captions if it's better for me. I can turn on parental controls, or I can give feedback to Kanopy. And everything here is going to be in that more menu on the bottom. Now, there's another service called Hoopla, which is also where you can get eBooks and audiobooks, as well as, like I said, music, movies, comic books. So there's quite a few different offerings in Hoopla. eBooks, you get them instead of the 14 days, you can borrow them for 3 weeks. And that does include magazines. Your audiobooks, you can borrow for 3 weeks, comics, 3 weeks, movies, TV, they say 2 to 3 days. It was 3 days, but I think at the moment it's 2 to 3 days. And a music album you can borrow for 1 week. There is never any waiting. It doesn't work like the library does, where you have to place holds on things. Anything you want is always available within Hoopla. You can borrow up to 10 items per month. And they have something called Binge Pass, which has like a group of like things that you can, it would count as one borrow. It does have a kids area. It does offer great courses. And the great courses in Hoopla are audio based. They're not video based. And they also have something in here called Craftsy, which is if you like to bake or if you like to do any sort of crafts. You can either learn a new craft or you can expand on a craft that you already know something about. Now, the difference between Libby and Hoopla is not only can you borrow things in Hoopla longer and they're always available, but you'll find the content is different. In Libby, you'll find the newest, most popular books are there. In Hoopla, they're a little bit older. They might be a year behind where Libby is. So it depends on what you like. I like to do audiobooks through Hoopla because they're always available. And I don't have to worry about, whether or not I'm going to have to place a hold on it and wait for it. But eBooks, I can go either way. And it just depends on what I'm looking for. So again, in the App Store, there's going to be a little blue app that says Hoopla, and that's the one we want. And when we first go in, we're going to say sign up. After that, we're going to say log on. So if we hit the sign up button, it's going to say let's go. And then it's going to say, we can help you find your location. And I'm going to say, okay. And then it's going to say, find your library. Now, I did find in Hoopla, you can do, you can find your library by allowing it. But I was sitting in the library doing this, and my library didn't show up. So I said, don't allow, and I typed in the word Lewisboro and search, and Lewisboro Library came up. So when I was home and I did the same thing, I allowed it only this time, and I had to scroll down a little bit in the second screen to find Lewisboro Library, but it did show up. So you can go either way. So when you say next, after selecting Lewisboro Library, it's going to ask you to enter your card number and your PIN, and then you're going to select done down here at the bottom. Going to enter your library card number and your PIN, and then it's going to ask you for an email address and password. So when you sign into Hoopla next time, if you happen to log out, you're going to have to know what that password is. If you've forgotten your password, it's going to have a I forgot my password, so you can reset it. And once I sign up, then I can go to the congratulations screen and I can get started. So this is what the home screen looks like in Hoopla. And you can see the home button here is, it's blue instead of gray. So you'll know that I'm home right now. If I search, and you can see the search buttons right down here. If I search for a book called Remarkably Bright Creatures and hit that search button, then you'll see some things will come up for me. Now, this is the ebook, and it does say ebook underneath it. And this is the audiobook version of the same thing. And you could see there's a headphones and the word audiobook underneath that. And so I select the book. I select borrow, and then borrow title. And the first time, it may or may not, Marlene, just so you know, may or may not go to this app permissions. And I'm going to select storage, and then I'm going to select allow access to media only. It will never happen after that.
Okay.
And then I'm going to select read, and the book opens up for me. Now, in this case, it's copyrighted, so it wouldn't let me take a screenshot like this. So I had to take a picture of my phone. Now, if there's, as I'm reading along, if there's a word that I don't understand and I want to look it up in the dictionary, I can press and hold the word to look it up or to highlight it. In search, there's also something called advanced search. So you can enter either the title of the book, you can search the author, a keyword, format, ebook, audiobook, music, whatever. Release date, date added. Again, I don't find them very helpful. Language you might want to put in English. Series, if it's part of a series and you know the name of the series, you could put that in. The name of the publisher, the ISBN, which is most people wouldn't know, or the genre. So like historical fiction or romance or whatever you're interested in. And then once you put in any information you're interested in, you'd hit the search button. If you go to home, you'll see what you've recently borrowed. And if you go to My Hoopla, then you'll see what's currently borrowed. And from this, if you tap in the middle of the loan, right here where the arrow is, you can play the title. But if you tap to the right, you can resume the title, you can delete it, or you can find a description of the book. You can have kids mode on if you'd like, and these are in settings. You have the ability to either display or hide your borrowing history. You can download only in Wi-Fi or not. Again, you're going to use your data charges if you're downloading outside of Wi-Fi. You can download it to internal storage. You can, if it's a video or a TV show or a movie, you can link this to your TV device. It's going to give you information about your account. It's going to say what your email address is, and it's going to tell you what library you belong to. And it's also going to give you library card and PIN information if you want. And you can change it here if for some reason or other you've had to change your library card number. And then you can get recommendations and new content alerts by email or push notifications if you turn these on. If they're on, they're blue. If they're off, they're gray. And also, this is where you would log out if you want to log out. I tell you, I never have any of my services logged out. They're always on, but that's my personal preference. So if you have any questions or you want to contact me, I'll send you this page also. Here's my name, Kathy Galasius, and our phone number at the library is 914-875-9004. Like I said, you can go through the website, digital media, and access any of the services that way, or you can go to the App Store and download the apps. Great.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Kathy.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Thank you, and I'm sure I'll see you again.
Okay. Give me a yell if you have any questions.
I will. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.